Right. So it's been a little while. Uh, Still working on stuff as usual. We'll get back to some outdoor stuff here soon. I still got some things to do before Christmas. We got Thanksgiving coming up, guys. We all need to give thanks that we've had a reprieve from the commies. But just think of it as a reprieve. We ain't out of the sticks yet, right? The revolt is still coming. I cannot believe that the massive uprising to elect Trump as president and the support to get him into the Oval Office, I cannot believe that is the revolt. It's got to be, in my opinion, it's got to be something like warfare related. You know, that's how I feel about it. And it ain't over yet, because he ain't in office yet, right? Those clowns are still manipulating things behind closed doors, and they're still doing stuff in the world. Okay, so you cannot let a snake run free. Okay, which still has its fangs. You can't let it run free. No, you just can't. All right, so we're going to talk about a few little things here, but the next video we're going to talk about the quote unquote Palestinian situation. That's going to be in the next video. This video, we're going to talk a little bit about that, but you know, like I said, we're late autumn, going to be going into winter in December, and you guys know that those are really my two favorite seasons, autumn and winter, right? So what I got here is I got hot chocolate, right? So hot cocoa. And in the winter time, I like to fill a flask. Okay, I got this flask here. So I like to fill this flask with either brandy or bourbon. And I like to put just a splash of that in my hot cocoa, especially if I'm outside doing work, right? Whether it's by work, I mean I'm working at doing something, right? Whether it's like pulling a sledge or just anything outside related, where I'm going through the woods. I'm going to put up a tent, whatever, you know. So I like to have a bit of hot chocolate when I'm done with all that, you know, get something hot in, and relax afterwards, you know. Or like if I'm outside chopping firewood, so I go outside, chop my firewood, and then, you know, when I'm all done with that, then go ahead and have myself a hot cocoa, splash of bourbon in there generally, and it's good. You know, not it's only for a taste. It's just a flavoring, right? So it's not like you're sitting there, oh yeah, you know, drinking the bottle, right? Bourbon. So no, not in that manner. So alcohol has its place. You know, even Jesus, wine, you know, water into wine for the wedding, right? So like with the bourbon, you can put a splash in your hot cocoa. Hot cocoa gives it a nice flavor. Sometimes, you know, you can use brandy if you want. As far as wine goes, you can have, you know, like mulled wine at Thanksgiving and Christmas. You know, it's good with your food. And bourbon also, or whiskey, whichever you like. It's two different types of things. Basically, it's the same thing, but it's two different. They do something and it becomes bourbon, right? So anyway, if you got a toothache, you could take a cotton ball, soak it in whiskey, and put it on the tooth, and it goes numb, right? So need to sleep. You can't sleep. A little bit of wine, whatnot. Drink you a glass or two of wine. You get sleepy. Brush your teeth, go to sleep. Just everyday stuff. A lot of people, as long as you're just careful, you won't get hooked on it and you're good to go, right? So, anyway, this is hot chocolate. Hot chocolate. It's in one of my favorite little cups here, with the sailing ship on it, because I like that. I like those old sailing ships. So get back to this Palestinian thing. This has been a thorn in the world's side for decades. They have garnered so much support through their whining and crying that they have millions of people that believe them. They believe them. They believe that they're being, quote unquote persecuted on all that stuff. People believe that they are real Palestinians. They're not. Okay, they're Arabs that took advantage of the. They took advantage of the Jews. Well, they just felt sorry for them. The Jews felt sorry for them. So they let them hang out there, and then it just became, this mess it is now. Okay? So, and I'm alive long enough to remember all of this stuff going on since practically the beginning. And I mean, I saw it happening. And then there was a commentary from the Shah of Iran back in the mid-70s, which I also saw that, right? So, and he was even talking about this situation. So it's like Americans saw all of this stuff going on in the in the early days. They saw all this stuff going on. They didn't really pay any attention because it's way over there in the Middle East, right? It has nothing to do with us, right? So, I mean, this stuff has been going on forever. It seems like, for decades and decades. So, yeah. So it just progressively got worse. It just progressively got worse. And so nowadays, I mean, they have been, it's like the Democrats. They say something long enough, people start believing it, right? So these people who are not Palestinians have been telling everybody that they are the original inhabitants of the land, that the land was really theirs. It's all a total of bunch of bunk. It's all bunk. It's not true. Those people were kicked out. They were a nomadic tribe of Arabs that were kicked out of every Islamic country in the Middle East until the Jews said, okay, you can hang out here. Right? Big mistake. And then it just gradually got worse. Okay? So all of these clowns marching in the streets in favor of those people. I'm talking about Americans here. And I'm talking about people in France, and I'm talking about people in the UK, and wherever else they are sympathetic to these people. You people have had, it is the biggest con job that I have ever seen pulled off in my whole life. and you see some con jobs out there, but this has got to be one of the biggest con jobs that has ever been pulled off in the history of the world. You know, making people think that they are the original Palestinians. They're not the original Palestinians. And I've got proof. I've got proof. And in the next video, I am going to show you the proof. Okay? I'm going to show you the proof from the Holy Bible, the good book, and I am going to show you the video footage that I just happened to come across for some reason. I don't know why. You know, this last week I came across this video footage on YouTube. It's an old 60 minutes footage that I watched back then because it was one of the big things going on. You know, I mean, it was a big thing back then. But the average American people didn't take it. They didn't take it as anything that really concerned them back then. Okay. Now it concerns everybody. I mean, this world is practically on the verge of war again. You know, I mean, everything is a mess, and we know that we're in the end times. We know that the Antichrist is soon to be. The man who will be the Antichrist is in the world right now. We know that. I mean, you would have to be totally blinded not to see that the Antichrist is in the world. Well, not the Antichrist, because he becomes the Antichrist. Right now, he's just a man that everybody likes. Okay? He's a very likable man by, you know, almost every country in the world, including Japan. I saw some videos of how enamored Japan has been with this one man, you know, even since the last time he was, yeah, well, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to ruffle, you know, any fellow patriotic Americans' feathers, you know, but it's quite possible that, you know, Trump could be the man that becomes the Antichrist, right? I feel he has a good chance of becoming the Antichrist. One of the heads of the first beast of Revelation 13. And I believe that Elon Musk could be the second beast. Okay? He could be. Anyway, we got about a minute and a half left here. But things are moving in this world. Things are moving. We got the revolt coming up. Right? I got 2023 to 2027 is when a lot of this stuff is going to happen, right? We've got the revolt was still prophesied by the Lord in the Bible. And then, when the revolt happens, the rapture happens. And then, when the rapture happens, that gives full reign to Satan to do his thing. That's when the Antichrist can be revealed. He's rising right now. He's rising right now. But the Antichrist, you see all these videos online. Oh, I just revealed the name of the Antichrist. You know, it's fake. It's fake. Because the Antichrist cannot be revealed until all of the Christians who are filled with the Holy Spirit are gone from the earth. That's what the rapture is, okay? If you don't believe in the rapture, oh well. I'm not going to fight about it. I don't care. You know, I'm going to give you the information. You either come to Jesus or you don't. Okay? If the Holy Spirit convicts you, if you come to the Lord, great. I think that's what I want. But I can't force you. Okay? I'm trying to give you the good news, and you make the decision. Anyway, come back next video. We'll talk. I'll give you the proof about the fake Palestinians in Israel. See you there.